Yes, good morning everyone. Just a minute, I'll switch my camera also. Yeah, okay. I hope I'm audible. Good morning everyone. If anybody in the chat box can confirm me, audible? Yes, okay, yeah. Thank you. Okay. So in the previous class, we studied about the daemon processes, sorry, signals, okay. So today, we'll start the next half. That is, as I said, the unit 4 consists of two chapters. The first half is signals and second half is daemon processes. So here in this, it's a small unit also. In this, we'll study what are daemon processes, what are the characteristics of a daemon processes, the coding rules, like how can you create a daemon by yourself, error logging, and client server model, how exactly it supports. So, but before going to daemon process, what are daemon processes? Okay, so if you see in the windows only, because now I'm on the screen sharing mode itself. If you look at here, I'll press alt control delete. Okay, this will take me to the task manager. I went to the task manager here. Now see, these are the applications which are running on my system. If you can see this, these are the services which are running on my system, probably the performance of my system, the networking issues, who is the user who is active. And if you look at this part now, the processes. Now, these are the processes which are running on my Windows. Look at this, yeah. Now see, okay, I'll just tell you there is one process by name. Just a minute, okay. It went somewhere. Yeah, there is a process by name notepad.exe. See, it's running there. I hope it is visible, because if you look at the taskbar here now, there is a notepad open for me, right? There is a PowerPoint process running because there is a PowerPoint open at the tray there. See, at the address bar. Okay. Similarly, there are n number of processes which are running. There is a VMware running because I have opened a VMware here. There is a browser running. Look at the browser here. Firefox is the browser running because Firefox is the browser open here, right? So what I mean to say is Chrome is running and Chrome is here, okay? And if you look at the other way, there are other processes also running. CRS, ss.exe, cypcio.exe, and see, there are many processes which names probably also you are not sure about it, or maybe you are hearing it for the very first time, right? So what I mean to say here is, these are the list of processes which are running in your system when you start your system, right? And apart from that, the processes which you start will keep on showing. Chrome is open here, so it is showing me Chrome, right? There is Firefox open here, so it is showing me Firefox is open here, so it is showing me Firefox here. Notepad is open here, it is PowerPoint is open here, so it is showing PowerPoint. So these are the list of processes which are running in your system. Okay. Now my other question is, now look at this winlog.exe. Where is that process visible for you now? See, there is no process by name winlog.exe which I have started. Okay. There is a process again running syntpens.exe. Now where is that process running for me? It's not running, right? Sorry, maybe it is running, but it is not visible for you, right? So there are some processes which are under the control of the user, and there are some processes which are not in the control of user. See, now notepad is a process. Maybe I've opened this notepad. I'll just save this. Okay, I'll minimize it. Okay, now look at the taskbar here. Notepad is open. I'll click on this notepad. I'll say end process. I'll say end process. See, notepad went from here, right? That means these are the list of processes. I'll open it again. So again, that whenever I open, see, again that process came into picture here. So there are some processes in Windows which are in your control. When you start it, they become a part of this process window, task manager, and when you don't want it, you can directly close it from there, or you can close it from here also, processes. which you don't want. But look at the other part here now. Now there are some processes, task host.exe, which is not in user control, right? Even when you end it, your entire system will shut down for you, right? That means there are some processes which are automatically started when you start your system. You can't close them, and they automatically shut down or close it when you shut down your system. Yeah, getting this, everyone? Now these are the processes which I have started. I can open, I can close it from here. Again, see this notepad.exe. As I said, I'll click on this notepad.exe. See, the notepad file is here. I'll click on this and I'll say end process. End process. See, notepad got closed because this is a process which is in the control of user, right? And there are some processes which are not under the control of user, just like this, just ched.exe 32. It's a system level file, okay? And please don't end task in your system also. Don't do that, okay? Because if you do that, your system will not behave properly for you, and it may create some of the problems for you. So what I mean to say is, whenever you start your operating system, there are some processes which are started by the OS only for you, and those processes are not in your control. You can't control those processes, okay? And those processes stop only when you shut down the system. And there are some processes which are in your control. As I said, the notepad, the PowerPoint, the Firefox, the Chrome, and on, right? If you look at it, there are some other naming conventions also. So to put in very simple words, again I'll show it. You have to press Alt, Control, and Delete simultaneously from your keyboard. When I do that, a task manager opens. Click on Start Task Manager. Probably you people know this, but still I'm just saying. So in the process, whichever process names you're familiar with, those are in your control. In simple words, what I can say. The names which you can pronounce it or which you know it are in your control, and the names which you can't pronounce it are not in your control. Are not in your control. They are controlled by your OS only, and they start only when you start your system, and they stop only when you shut down the system. And there are so many processes running here. Okay. Winlog, task manager, and all this, right? So this one, okay, please remember this, okay? Similarly, in Unix also, there are some processes which are started by the OS itself for you, and they are not in your control, and they keep running in background. As I said here, see again, I'll go back here, Alt Control Delete. I'll click on Task Manager. I'll click on Processes. Now see, as I said here, there is a process running for me here, csr sss.exe. But where is that process visible for me on the screen? It's not visible. There is again a process running cycpio, CPU cycle, input output cycles it is, but where it is visible, but it is running somewhere. This is the task of all active processes in your system. dwm.exe. There is a process running in the background, but I'm not sure where it is, or it's not visible for me. There is a system by name Task Manager. Yeah, don't close this, okay? When you close your system, again will shut down for you. Okay, it's running somewhere for you. So similarly, in Unix also, you have the processes which are not in your control, and they're running at the background. And such processes are called as daemon processes. I just took you from Windows to now Unix. Now what are daemon processes? First and the foremost thing is, these are the processes that live for a longer time. Now, why I'm saying for a longer time? Because they stay in your system from the point when you start your system, and they close only when you shut down your system. Okay, so daemon processes are the processes. They are the processes which live for a longer time, and they are often started when the system is bootstrapped. That is when you start your system, the daemon process starts, and when you shut down your system, the daemon process stops. This is what about the daemon processes. Now, why they live for a longer time? Because very important, because they don't have a controlling terminal we say that they run in background. So whenever a daemon process is running in your system, they are the processes which are running at the background, and you don't have a controlling terminal. There is nothing to control from the keyboard and all. Just like other processes, you can control it, you can close them and all, right? Daemon process don't have a controlling terminal. That it means there are no keys available on the system by which you can stop a daemon process. So Unix systems have numerous daemons that perform day-to-day activities. Just like your system log in network C. Now you can ask me like where this daemon process can be used. Uh, Preferably in the cyber cafes and all. When you go there, they keep monitor your network, what you have browsed, how much time you have maintained, the log file which is maintained by them, right? Those are nothing but daemons which are created by them. See, creating a small daemon is easy, but coding for it is a bit difficult for you initially at initial level. Okay, so if at all you want to monitor the activities, just like what I said, the ethical hackers and all, they use it. They create a daemon and they post it in your system. Maybe a daemon to monitor what all you are browsing or what all you are doing in your system, right? So this process starts when you start your system, and they keep on monitoring your activities at the backend. At the backend, the activities are monitored by them, and they're maintained in a file. So whoever are the hackers or whoever wants to keep track, they can just open those files and see your activities. That is what it says. Unix system also has numerous daemons that perform day-to-day activities like network monitoring, your web applications, your data pack usage, what the tasks are happening, how much CPU you are utilized. All those are daemons which are running at the backend for you. So is this clear what I mean by daemon process? Daemons are the process which live for a longer time. They start when you start your system, and they stop when you shut down your system. And you don't have the control on the daemons because daemons don't have a controlling terminal. Please remember this. They don't have a controlling terminal. And daemons, they are used for various purposes, like to monitor day-to-day activities, to monitor what all you are browsing in your system, to monitor how much is your CPU usage, to monitor the network activities, to monitor the network issues. All this can be created by the user and posted as a daemon. Okay. Is this clear now, everyone, what I mean by daemon process? So now the next question arises, sir, in Windows we saw what are the daemon processes there, right? Alt, Control, Delete, you went to Task Manager and you saw the processes which are under your control and which are in the control of kernel, which you can't stop it. On similar lines, in Unix also, you have n number of processes running. Okay, now I'll just come here. Okay, I'll just show here. Okay, come here. Now, you people know how to see the process status in Unix? Anybody? You know how to see? Abhishek will come to questions later on. Abhishek, let me complete this first concept. Is that okay, Abhishek? I'll come to your questions at the end of the class because this will prompt us from continuing the classes. Okay. Thank you, Abhishek. Yeah. Can you tell me how to know a process in Unix? Which all processes are running in Unix? Just like in Windows, what we did, Alt, Control, Delete. So similar lines, how can you see a process in Unix now? Anybody in the chat box? How can I see which all the processes are running on my system? In Windows, it was very easy. Alt, Control, Delete was the button. In Unix, nobody? Okay, I'll just tell you. Now, since I'm in a Unix environment, now I came to the terminal here. I'll just open a terminal. Now, probably you know this. PS. PS is a command which is used to check the process status of a system. So when I say PS, so these are the two processes which are running. One is the bash command is running, which has PID, it's nothing but process ID, TTY is a terminal, time, and the command which is being executed. Since I'm working on a virtual machine, students, please remember it may vary from your actual system to a virtual machine. Okay, so this is how I can see the process status, the active process on my system. But now the next question comes is, Sir, in Windows you said Alt Control Delete. Alt Control Delete. That it was showing the list of processes. There also you had some of the daemon processes. Again, I'll come back here. Alt Control Delete. I'll go to Task Manager. As I said, the processes which are under your control are seen here. You can read them, you can pronounce them, and the one which you can't read are in the system control. Please don't end those processes, okay? Because if you end, your system may stop abruptly, okay? Okay. So winlog.exe. Maybe it's a daemon process which is run by the system for you. The minute you stop, your system will start behaving abruptly. Task host, this gets started when you start your Windows and gets stops when you shut down the system, right? So here you can call them as a daemon processes. You can call them as a daemon processes. So sir, daemon process visible here for me. Then in Unix, how can I see a daemon process? I'll just clear this. So in Unix, you can see the daemon process by the command ps. ps is used to see the process status. -a. A means for all owned by others. You have owner, group, and others, right? A means for all. Okay. Now, very important, X. X is nothing but the command used to show which don't have controlling terminal, or in short we can call them as a daemon process. A is the processes of others. X to display only the process which don't have a controlling terminal, and J is nothing but the details of the process, like process ID, parent process ID, and all that. So this command ps -axj is the command used to check the daemon processes running on the system. So when I press enter, so many daemon processes are running on my system. So many. Okay. Now again I'll go back here on top. The command to check a daemon process is ps -axj. J is nothing but the details, job related information of the process, just like the parent process ID, the process ID, parent group ID. SID is nothing but session ID. TTY is the terminal group ID, the statistics, the user ID, the time, and the command being executed. So whenever I type ps -axj, A indicates processes of all users, X indicates the processes which don't have controlling terminal, and J indicates the details of the process. Just like PPID is parent process ID, PID is process ID, PGID is process group ID, SID is session ID, TTY is terminal, TPGID is terminal group ID, statistics, the user ID, the time it was executing, and the command. Now, if you look at this portion here, TTY, there's a question mark here. See, if you can look at this part, TTY has a question mark. This means the terminal associated with those processes, they don't have a controlling terminal. Look at this only here now. When I executed PS, TTY, it was showing some terminal. That means those processes can be controlled by the user. Yeah. See here, TTY, it was showing PTS1. That means this bash command process can be controlled. It has a terminal with which a user can control. But if you look at this here, the processes which has question mark in it, those are the processes which don't have controlling terminal. Look at this. See? All these are question mark, which means these are the process running on your systems which don't have a controlling terminal. So whenever they ask you to identify a daemon process, you can just type ps-axj, and in TTY, wherever it is question mark, you can call them as a daemon process. They don't have a controlling terminal with that. They don't have a controlling terminal. And if you look at this here also now, neither controlling terminal, and the group ID is -1 all time. You see, TPG ID is 1. So whichever process it has TTY as question mark and TTG group ID as -1, those processes are called as daemon processes. And one more understanding, like the naming conventions, daemon process always have the naming conventions that end with D alphabet. It's up to the user, but when they had developed Unix, they maintain this naming conventions. So whichever are the daemon process can always end with the D alphabet. Here, stat D, RPC, remote procedure call, bin D, all these are daemon processes. So is this now? It is clear for you now. But in the exams, they can ask you, just tell me how can you identify daemon process. So in Unix, we have a command known as PS. PS will give me the process status, sir. By default, it shows me process ID, time to leave, that is terminal, time and command being executed. But if at all I want to see the daemon processes, with PS command, I use the options. -A indicates all the other processes. X indicates the processes that don't have controlling terminal. Very important. This X. It lists me the process which don't have controlling terminal. And J is nothing but all the activities. Now, if I say only this way, I'll just come here. Now again, I'll say PS minus AJ. Okay. See, it will show me only the active process which is running, and it shows me process ID, process group ID, SID, and terminal being running. So if at all I want a daemon process, PS minus AXJ. This will show me all the daemon processes on my system. Now these are the processes which are not under my control, which you can't control it, because the naming conventions, you can go with the naming convention only. The process which has TTY as question mark, they don't have a controlling terminal. See, PID1, process ID1 is nothing but the init process. PID0 bootstrap. Yes, standard input output. The first three processes are fixed for the Unix, and after that are all the other processes which are running. See here, PID1 is the init process, right? So in that way, all this process has different IDs given to it. Yeah, 0, 1, 2 are by default system level processes only. They start when you start the system, and they stop when you shut down the system. Now is this clear now? What I mean by process status? PS command is used to check the status of the process. So daemon processes are the processes which live for a longer time. They don't have a controlling terminal. They are started when you bootstrap the system and terminate only when you shut down the system. They don't have a controlling terminal, so only we say that they run in background. Okay, this is what I told you, Darcy. Now there are n number of processes. PS minus AXJ. This I've taken just a screenshot over there. When you type this, parent process ID 0, process ID 1 is init process, 2, 3, 5, 6, all this process. See, and this is TTY is a question mark, which says that this process don't have a controlling terminal, and that's always group ID is -1. Okay. Is this clear now? What are daemon processes? Daemon are the processes which learn for a longer time. They don't have a controlling terminal. They are started when the system starts and stops when you shut down the system. They are not in the control of the user. Okay. So now, if I know what is a daemon process, now what are the characteristics of a daemon process? So how can I identify those are the daemon processes? So first and the foremost thing is, daemons are the processes that run in the background. The processes which run in the background are called as daemon processes. Daemons have super user privileges. Very important. So whenever you are creating a daemon process, make sure that they have super user privileges. Now why super user privileges, sir? Because a process which has super user privileges can only have the access over the system calls. Over the system calls. Just a minute, students. Okay, they have super user privileges, because when you're creating daemons, all those daemons should be created under super user privileges only. Not an end user can do that. An end user can do that, then every system you could have hosted some of the daemons over there. Only if you have super user privileges, you can create daemon process. Daemons don't have controlling terminal. Very important. So whenever a daemon is being executed, you can't control them. There is no alt control delete, there is no alt F4, there are no keyboards control Z, control X or something like that, which can stop that process. They can't be controlled from any terminal. This is the next characteristic, because when the code for the daemon is written, it's written in such a way that all the terminals which are assigned to it, terminals, resources, limits and all, are taken off. How they are taken off? Only when you have a super user privileges. And daemons are sessions and group leaders. Now when I say daemons are session and group leaders, means that whenever you create a process, the process has a process ID. It belongs to a group, which is nothing but a group ID. So in that group, they run for some time. The process which run for some time belongs to one session, and they are called as a session ID. So in that session, one process becomes a session leader, and we call it as a session leader. So daemons are nothing but session and group leaders also, because nobody can say anything to the group leader nor to the session over there. So these are the characteristics of a daemon process. In your system, so anything with a parent process ID of 0 is usually a kernel process started as a part of system bootstrap procedure. We know now anything with a parent process ID 0. Now look at this. Parent process ID is 0 here in the system. So this is the process which is usually started by the kernel, and it becomes a part of the bootstrap procedure. Now what I mean by a bootstrap, bootstraps are nothing but the process which starts with the kernel. Okay, and kernel processes are specially and generally exist for the entire lifetime of the system. Now we know now the processes which are started by the kernel will stay for a longer time, and they end only when the system is shut down, and all they run with the super user privileges that has no controlling terminal and no command line arguments or no command line to stop them. So process ID of 1 is usually an init process, which we know from the beginning only. Process ID 1 is nothing but a init process, and it is nothing but a system daemon responsible among other things, that is starting system services specific to various run levels. Because as I said, init is the process which runs initially at the system level. So if you stop only init, then how other process will start for you? So init is also a daemon process for you. It's a daemon process which is responsible for other things. You stop the init process, right? Because init is a process which is started by the system. So system related process, a user will not have a control over them. So you can only view the process but not stop the process. And init is responsible for creating other processes, giving services and all to all the other processes. So these are the few characteristics. Again, there are some well-defined daemons in your systems. Okay, there is a daemon by name KEVENTD. As I said, daemon process ends with a D alphabet. What does this daemon do? As I said, the words which you can't pronounce usually are the daemon processes. They provide context, process context for running scheduled functions in the kernel. So see, as I said initially, you have there is a context switching taking place between the kernel level and the user mode and kernel mode, context switching. So who does that context switching for me? There's a daemon which keeps tracks of that, and that daemon is nothing but KEVENTD, which helps us to transfer a process from user level to kernel level, and from kernel level back to the user level. There is again one more daemon, that is K-swap D. As I said, there is no mandatory rule that you should have a D alphabet, but it's the thumb rule says that all daemons end with a D alphabet, which you can create. So K-swap D daemon is also known as page out daemon. So whenever any page is going out of the memory, which you studied in the OS concept, okay, that time you get a message and it keeps on waiting as long as the page is loaded in the memory, and that is taken care by a daemon K-swap D. It also supports virtual memory by writing dirty pages to disk slowly over time so that pages can be reclaimed. That is what. Even if something goes wrong out of the memory, see, take a very simple example in Windows now. You have opened the MS Word and suddenly your system is shut down. When you open the MS Word, you see that the previous file open it will be shown at the left hand side, right? Because that is saved in a virtual memory for you. It is not wiped off, but it is saved in a virtual memory. And again, if you click on that, you will get back your page back. You have encountered this. Open a MS Word file, save it, and suddenly your system stops. When you open it, you at the left hand side previously opened files, it shows you. Now how can I get that? That I can get only with this daemon, which was coded for me at the system level. There is one more daemon by name INETD daemon. It listens to network interfaces for incoming requests for various network servers. Now, n number of networks you are being connected to your laptops and all. So it keeps on listening to the various network interfaces, and which will help you to connect to the network which you want. It keeps on listening. See, the minute you start your hotspot, it keeps on getting the nearby the people. Sorry, if you start your Wi-Fi, it will get you the nearby hotspots which are available for you, right? Automatically, you are not again putting it explicitly, right? The minute you start your Wi-Fi, the nearby networks are detected for you, right? Same thing, it happens in Linux also. There is a daemon by name INETD daemon. What does it do? It listens to the system's network interface for incoming request of various network servers. And there are again NFSD, LockD, RCP, remote procedure call daemons that provide the supports of network file system. So whenever you are connected to the network, you have already inbuilt daemons for you in the systems. We call it as NFS, that is network file system daemons. And there is one more daemon by name corn daemon, cornd. It executes a command at specified dates and times. Usually we have this option also now, cornd, which is nothing but like an alarm. You can schedule your process to be executed at a given date and time. We have that option, right? In Unix also we have, take a simple example of mobile phones now. You can still post a birthday message on the specific date and time also. Probably who will be awake till 12 AM, right? So what I'll do is I can post a message. We can post a message, schedule it, and it gets pushed out. Take an example for Google Meet only now. Today probably there is an assignment to be posted. I can go there, I can schedule it, right? I can schedule it. So that schedule will tell me at this specific date and time, your I question will be visible in your Google Classroom, right? That is happening in Windows. Same thing in Unix also, you have a daemon which is running. If this is not there, you can't do that. They're very simple words I can say. If this daemon is not available in your system, then you can't execute a command at specific date and time. You have to do at that same time only. And there's one more daemon by name cup SD daemon is a print spoiler. It handles print request on the system. It is a print spooler. That means simple thing. See, if n number of take an example of a lab only. If there was one printer and n number of people are sending the print request, so they should be queued for you so that one after the other the system will print it. Now, who does that queuing for me now? The cup SD daemon. Now these are daemons are nothing but the system files only, which are created by the users in super user privileges, which keeps tracks of so many activities which are running at the back end. If 5-6 people give print at the same time, whose request should be given first, or whose request should be attended first? All that has to be taken care by the system. So to do that, there are n number of daemons available in the system, and these are few of them. See here, as I said, K-swap D, There is one more something, BD flush. Flush will always clean up the buffer for you. Whenever you're running a next process at the same time, even if you don't clear the memory, BD flush will keep on flushing the memory for you, and it will give the new memory every time for you you're using it. Similarly, there are so many daemons. There are a number of daemons available. Okay, whichever you wanted, you can just Google and just check it out, because thousands of daemons are available. I have just picked up which are necessary and useful for you. Okay? This is all about, and this will take it later on. Okay, coding rules, that is how you can create a daemon process. Okay, so today we studied only about what is a daemon and what are the characteristics of daemon processes. Is that clear now? Yeah. Any doubts here? Jyoti Prasad, you are not supposed to leave. Still attendance has to be given. Okay. Abhishek, okay. Sir, clock running is a system, is also a process. Yes, Abhishek, it is also a process, because the minute you shut down your system, it is running at the back end for you. The automatic time is being updated for you. Yes. So the system clock running is also a process for you. Any other doubts, students? Today we just studied about the basics. Okay. So in the next class, we'll study about how can you create a daemon on your own. I'll help you side by side for you to create a daemon process also. Okay. Yeah. Before closing this, one more thing. Thursday, that is 26th at 10 a.m. I have arranged a guest talk for you. A person from IBM will be addressing you about the career opportunities in Unix. Okay. Since you are just studying this subject, so how can you make your career by being a master's in Unix? What track to choose, where you can work, and what are the career possibilities for you. So there is a guest talk of 1 hour, 10 to 11. Make sure that everybody attends it. It's a mandatory by default. You're for your goodwill only. If you attend, it is for your goodwill, because here you are studying only the theoretical part, but from the industry perspective, how it is useful and where all it can use, he'll be telling you all that. Okay. So no doubts, then we'll end it. I'll just post the attendance list for you people here now. Okay. Please give this attendance for me. We can stop it. Okay. No doubts. Then I'll stop the meeting. Okay. Thursdays will be a different link which I'll be posting you initially only. Okay. So students, make sure that you attend that Thursday's class early morning, 10 o'clock. Be in the classroom 5 minutes early, students. Okay.